This is the funnest night ever!
Quit yanking our anuses!
Two people get together, do something social, have a few drinks, yada yada yada.
It's called Two Brothers. Two Brothers. It's just called Two Brothers.
Welcome to episode, whatever the fuck episode this is. This is Two Brothers.
Two Brothers.
And on tonight's episode, we are very depressed. And so we decided that we do a list of our... One.
Why would you say that?
Let's say one.
We're very depressed.
We gotta keep it real for the audience at
It's
home.
a fucking Sunday, so...
We're listening to Minecraft. This is probably one of the more depressing tracks. Alright, look, anyways, we're gonna do our top 5 comic book movies of all time.
Not of all time. Some.
Some of all time?
Yeah.
So, top 5 comic book movies of some of all time.
Because these, I would consider on my list, but not in my top 5, though.
Okay.
These, I would just say, so people can have a little taste of every other comic book movie that's out there.
Yeah.
You know?
And look, we're not basing this off of some type of criteria. This is just what we think is our personal favorite top 5 comic book movies of all time. So, comic book movies of all time, I fucked up there. So, we're gonna start with you with your top number 5. I'll do my 5, you do 4, and all that.
Okay.
So that's how we're gonna do it. Do you want to do honorable mentions first before we move on, or you want to do honorable mentions later?
So.
I got a lot.
No, that's fine. You can do it at the end.
Or I'll do it at the end.
All right.
So if you hear or if you don't hear a movie that's not on my list, it could be on the honorable mention.
Let's do another top 5 or something.
We can do another top 5. Another, that's what they always do on fucking YouTube. So. All right, go ahead. Start with your number 5.
So my number 5 is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the 1990 film.
Okay. I didn't expect you to pull out one.
Just as a kid, knowing, the fuck am I saying? Having a stroke.
As depressed. That's like...
As a kid, growing up as watching this film, I think I grew up watching the second one, then going back to the first one. Which
I always got those two confused.
Yeah, as a kid, I didn't like because it was more, now grown up and everything, it's more, not serious, but it had a serious tone to it.
The first one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely did.
More greedy, how the comics was back, when it first came out. So, rewatching it a few years ago, I felt I had more love for it.
Appreciation for it.
Yeah, as a kid, you always pick that one turtle that you like by the color or by the persona.
Which one was your Raphael?
It was Leonardo.
Leonardo.
Now as as an adult, it's fucking Raphael.
Yeah, I think everyone can relate to each fucking turtle.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah. It's like now you can relate to each one. And then you just pick one. So just to me, knowing how it's shaped and all that. Comic books, even though it's like a kid's film, it's still how do you say, stuck true to the comics. Yeah. So
you're right, because it was the first movie that really stuck true to the source material. Yeah.
Well, I'll bring it when I'm done. But some of it was, like you said, stuck to the source material. This is like I looked up some
like little tribute thing.
Yeah, or what? Little tribute things like in the comics it was black and white when it first came out. Right. So they didn't have bandanas with their own colors. Yeah. So in the animated series in the 1980s, they gave them the colors. So that was the first time each one had their own color. And in that animated series for kids, they also put in that they love pizza. So they put that in the film for kids. What? So in the comics, I guess they never liked pizza.
Honestly, I didn't fucking know that.
Yeah.
It was the cartoon show.
Yeah, they gave him the colors and the love for pizza.
Did they also give him the humor too in the cartoon show? Damn, man, I didn't know that.
So yeah, if you guys didn't know, it was created by Kevin Eastman and drawn by, I think they were both drawn, and
so I think those two people involved, right?
I think Kevin wrote it, I think, and drew it, and Peter, I guess, did the same thing, but he sketched in the colors and stuff like that. Okay. So yeah, and when it first came out, it was the highest grossing indie film of all time until the Blair Witch came out and got that title for it.
Which is insane because like when you watch the movie, dude, like how they brought the turtles to life with like the costumes and everything, that at least at that time it felt really like revolutionary for fucking movies.
And to me, it still holds up.
I mean, there's some creepy, because you see, like, on the internet, you see some creepy shit.
That's if you fucking pause the fucking film and stuff.
Okay,
but
good point.
Yeah, but, to me, it still holds up.
Yeah, definitely. Most of them. But you chose the first one, right?
The first one.
Okay.
The second one's, it's a good, I would say a good sequel. But it to me, felt more towards kids now. Yeah. But this one's kind of stuck to the source material, the comics.
I feel like both movies still can be watched by kids and adults.
Yeah. I forgot I was going to say. Oh, and to me, as we previous talked about mental health, they kind of talk about that, like how...
Yeah, with like anger issues.
Like how Raphael has anger issues and how he fights along with his brothers and all that. And, and
Splinter teaches Master Splinter talks to him about that, and you can't come from a place of hate and like anger, and
there's meditation in the film. He teaches him how to,
and this is during the more like serious parts of the movie.
Yeah,
because I remember watching the movie. I think what was it when the Foot Clan ambushes that house or whatever, and who comes back? Was it Raphael that comes back?
They all come back, but Raphael's the one that.
Yeah, and he was like, and she was like, as a kid, I was like, oh, fuck, is this a horror movie now? What the fuck's going on?
And they introduced Casey Jones.
He was, oh my, remember that scene when he was on the fucking porch? He was eating the apple and they're fucking...
Yeah, bro.
that was one of my favorite scenes of that movie. That shit was fucking cool. Sucks he wasn't in the second one, right?
Yeah, he was in the third. No, I think he was in the third one.
That one we don't talk about. The third one's not as highly praised.
Yeah, but now growing up, there's, like you see, you can understand each turtle. They have their own personalities, which you can relate to. So yeah, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
All right. What about my number 5 is Dread.
Cool.
From 2012, not the original one with Sylvester Stallone.
Oh, okay.
One with Carl Urban. That one's directed by, I wrote it down, Pete Travis, which I checked his IMDb page. None of the other movies really spoke to me, so I don't think he did much of anything of note besides Dread, at least that I know. And, man, talk about a fucking, like, sticking true to the source material. That movie was 100% Dread. Like, that was really what they based their movie on, was that character. And watching that movie just, I think it's like 90 minutes, but it's like very quick, very tight and concise. It knows what it wants to be, and I enjoyed it. And I recently watched this, I think, like 2-3 months ago. Still holds up. Carl Urban is fucking amazing
as Dredd
in that role. I don't think a lot of people know him. Well, they do know him from Dredd, but like, I don't think people appreciate his role as Dredd as much, especially now that he's like in The Boys. I think that his role in that show overshadows now his role in Dredd, but perfect movie. It does have some issues, like I just feel like the story is kind of very simple and basic, and there's some humor that sometimes doesn't really land, but you're in it for the fucking action. And for that 90 minutes is fucking perfect. And any comic book fan, especially from Judge Dredd, they will love that film. That's why it's my number 5. Because you can just watch it without having been a fan, and it will introduce you to that character, and you might want to go out and buy the fucking comic book.
Yeah, and there's spin-offs with Batman, Alien, and Predator.
Alien, yes, but those are like 2-3 years ago they read that.
Yeah. So I guess he's still, there's a following for him. Mm-hmm. So I don't mind having another sequel, but we haven't seen one. So,
and I don't think we'll see one for quite a while. I know there's talking about a TV show and everything, so we really don't know where it's going to go. But that's my number 5, Dread. Mm-hmm. What's your number 4?
My number 4 is The Crow.
Okay.
And I tell you why.
All right. And I'll tell you why.
Well, first, I'm a big sucker for revenge films, kind of like losing a loved one and getting payback and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This one kind of has it. And again, I'm going back as, one of our brothers used to watch this shit all the fucking time. And as a little kid, I don't want to say I appreciated it, but that's all I saw, and I kind of hated it because that's all he would
watch.
Yeah. Uh-huh. But again, growing up, gave it another chance because it had a cult following. It was based on a comic book and stuff like that, and it grew to be one of my favorite comic book films of all time. Like
adaptations. Yeah, I agree 100%.
So I love how the cinematography for the film, as a POV as the Crow over the city, the grittiness, the darkness of the city, stuff like that. It's always dark. It's never light. It's always raining, stuff like that. I love even the bad guys have character.
Yeah.
I love how the Crow, Brandon Lee's character Eric Draven would like touch something as how do you say familiar for him, like the ring from his fiance, like it gets flashbacks. Mm-hmm. I love that. That's pretty cool.
And I wanted to, because I know you're probably going to talk about it too, but the soundtrack.
Oh yeah.
The score from how they use the music in tandem with the movie and the scenes is just. I don't think you see that in comic book movies anymore, if at all. Like The Crow really fucking did a good job with inserting music in the right moments of that fucking film that just elevated the film.
To be honest, one of my favorite scenes out of cinematography or whatever, or whatever you want to call it, is when it's on the rooftop and that 9 Inch Nails songs plays. It's so fucking iconic, to me it feels so.
They made it a fucking shirt. There's a statue too, just that frame, that shot of it.
And and also that other scene is perfectly aligned also with like you said, the music and the scene. What's going on is when he's putting on the makeup.
Is The Cure, right?
Yeah,
The Cure.
That's also you just. It tells not a story, but it tells you what's going to happen. Yeah, it's building up, which is so fucking
with no
cool.
dialogue at all. It's just the music, and you just, which we also, I don't know if you also talk about it, but Brandon Lee performance.
Oh yeah,
in that movie was fantastic.
I would say he's a par with how Heath Ledger did it. He took he made it his own.
Yeah, how he approached the role and everything. He was definitely what's his name? Eric Draven.
Eric Draven.
He was that fucking character for that movie.
Yeah.
You couldn't tell. They couldn't separate. Is that really Brandon Lee? And damn, that's. He was really fucking.
He put himself into that role, which you can tell.
Yeah, and unfortunately, passed away shortly after, and it sucks because he could have easily become one of them. He was a rising star.
Yeah,
and that really made him a fucking legendary fucking actor.
Has a cult following till this day, and I'm one of those people. I love it. So here's some tidbits about this film. It was written by James O'Barr,
Okay.
In the early 1980s. He wrote that once he lost his fiancée during a drunk driver incident.
Oh, okay.
She died. So, like, coping for that, he made The Crow.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like in the comics, I guess they didn't give him. There's no last name in the comics. They go by first name, so his name was Eric. And in the film, they gave him the last name Draven. So they give him more character towards that.
Okay.
And instead of dying in the apartment, how in the film they got killed roadside. They were.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Stuff like that. And in the comics, he's a walking corpse basically.
Yeah, because isn't he like technically dead?
He's dead. Yeah, but how
it's the Crow that like
brings him back and all that. Like and then the films, they added more powers for the Crow. Like he's invincible. Remember how they keep shooting him and all
invincible and everything. Yep.
Yeah,
doesn't die.
He doesn't die.
Which adds to his character too, because he's like cocky and everything.
Yeah.
And he's like more of a badass and shit. It's cool.
What else? Hold on, let's see. No, that's pretty much it. Like they added more to give more character towards the Crow. You know. Oh yeah, he. I guess in the comic book, he wasn't a rock star. He was
really?
I think he was like a dancer, like a ballet dancer, something like that. And they changed that toward
to be like more of a rock star. And everything. Yeah, and again, like they took some liberties with the source material, but it's one of those rare instances, like you said with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, where they add their own shit to it, and it just adds to it. It doesn't take away from the source material. The Crow is like that. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is like that. So it's still a good comic book movie, even if it's strayed a bit from the source material. You know?
No, before we continue, there was this character also in the comics named shit. Oh my god, I just had his name. I forgot. I think his name is the Cowboy.
Mm-hmm.
He has a trench coat, fucking hat, but he's like a skeleton figure, and he's more of a guide for Eric in the comic books, like to get his revenge type of thing. He points to where he has to go, and there's behind the scenes that they were going to add that character in the film. There's like one scene where he, I guess, goes to the church, and that's where he appears, and they just have this conversation, and he like they were going to add stuff into the to the film that's comic book related. Like that character, stuff like that. But the bad guys' names is the same. Fucking Fun Boy and
because like you said, each character is like they have their own personality.
Which is
it's added to the movie too. Which I like that. And how he when he eventually found them again, when he was like the Crow and shit, like those scenes were fucking cool. How you played with them. Like, what the fuck, man? What's going on? I thought you were dead. That's not a line from the movie, but like that's basically what he
Well, there you go. Number 4, The Crow.
All right. My number 4, I'm not going to say too much about it because I think it's self-explanatory, is Deadpool.
Well, okay. The first one?
The first one.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why, because before it came out, we already know what happened. They leaked the test footage and everything. Everyone was super hyped about it. And Ryan Reynolds being in that movie, I think that's what made the movie so great. I've with the exception of Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds is one of those people who is born to fucking play Deadpool. And he shows it in this movie. And he is 100% that character. And I know I say this a lot, and we're probably going to say it again for other movies, but Deadpool is like a comic book come to life. It's like a self-contained thing. It's not connected to anything or any of the MCU or whatever. It's its own story, and if you have never watched the comic book movie, or if you don't like comic book movies, or if you don't know much about Deadpool, you can just easily watch this movie and be entertained. And that's how it was too, because I didn't know too much about Deadpool until I saw the test footage, because I know a little bit about him. then I read the comics, and then I watched the movie, and it's so accessible for a comic book movie. I mean, it is R-rated, so keep that in mind. But it has everything. It has fucking action. It has has a love story, and there's fucking blood and guts and violence and action. All this shit is just from beginning. I think we watched that movie a bunch of fucking times in theaters.
Yeah, when it came out.
So that just goes to show you.
Yeah, that it was great.
I think on repeat viewings, it has a bit of pacing problems. You want to see the good stuff. You want to kind of skip over all the fucking other shit. But the first time watching it in theaters, fucking blew my mind.
Yeah, I was surprised how they nailed the character, like you said, like beat by beat. It's like him, man. Like you're right, how he breaks the fourth wall and stuff like that.
Which has never been done before.
Yeah, how his costume was like right off the fucking comic book.
Yep.
Which they nailed too, like the humor and all
that. That was all thanks to Tim Miller, the director, who was really passionate about the project just as much as Ryan Reynolds. And he had a vision, and he wanted to see it through. And damn, dude,
just to think he was going to be PG-13.
I know.
And they fought for it, which was great.
Fucking crazy. And they even did a whole bit about it. Like, what was it with Mario Lopez and shit?
Yeah.
And he fucking hit him with the TV, and it was like, Deadpool's gonna be rated R. I was like, oh, that's fucking awesome. The marketing too was
great. Was sweet, yeah.
And it came out in February. Which typically Marvel movies or anything like they don't come out in the beginning of the year. So that was kind
of like
skeptical. Everyone was like, but
was it February or March?
No, it was February because it came around. It coincided with like Valentine's.
You're right. Yeah.
And the only other movie that came out in February was Black Panther. Black Panther.
Yeah.
Which that was also fucking wildly successful. So Deadpool's my number 4, and I'm going to say too much about it.
And enough said, right? This one is like considered in my top 5, just because he's my favorite Marvel character, and the way they portray this film is just again straight out of the fucking comic books. Especially the run with Garth Ennis, the Max.
Oh, okay, I know which one it is.
So it's the Punisher Warzone.
Not the Punisher with Thomas Jane.
No.
Which is weird because Thomas Jane, he feels in a lot of ways like the Punisher.
He gives him that character.
And he was like the best part of that movie. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about Warzone.
It's just like the same way I'm going to do it with like you were telling me, like with Deadpool. Like, what else you say? I'm just going to keep it simple because it's just what you want as a Punisher movie. And
the director, I don't know if you have her name, but the director, she also wanted to just make a fucking comic book movie come to life of the Punisher, and she fucking did that.
She did her research too. She read the Max run, which is more of a mature,
very violent, and it translated on screen for fucking sure.
So she did her research. She knew the character, which is fucking cool as a fucking woman director to do it. Yeah, right?
That was so awesome, man.
Yeah.
And not a lot of people talk about that movie. It's so weird because I don't see a lot of people giving enough praise. It has its issues.
It does.
For sure, but it's 100% through and through a Punisher movie. You get a little bit of backstory about, how he became the Punisher, but they go right into it. It starts with him fucking being the Punisher. Unlike the other film where he has to be the Punisher, this one's like, no, he's been the fucking Punisher for a while.
Yep.
Motherfuckers are afraid of him. It was so fucking good.
Yeah, and great. To me, it was great action.
Also a good soundtrack.
Yeah.
Metal soundtrack, all the metal heads out there. Fucking just cool.
I can't say good enough with this film, Yeah. The one scene that sticks out, which is so fucking Punisher, and I think you're gonna agree too.
Go ahead.
Is when I guess they attack some lady's house.
The wife of the police officer
that got killed by
it's Punisher. Her house and everything.
And I guess the friend who died comes over. Yeah. Stops the bad guys.
Punisher's in the back of the fucking police car, right? Yeah. With Soap.
Yeah, with Soap.
And,
and
she was like, "Come on, Soap," and I was like, I can't let you go, Frank, and fucking lets him out and shit. And
It's just cool how he kills those two characters,
right?
Which is ridiculous, which is cool though.
Go ahead and explain. I don't want to ruin it. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I guess there's a noise in the back of the house.
Yeah, one of the guys goes checks.
Nothing happens.
He takes a fucking bump of his coke.
Yeah.
Turns around
and he gets punched right in the fucking face.
Through his fucking face, dude. It's so ridiculous because no one really, maybe Frank Castle does have that power, but no human being realistically can fucking punch someone through their fucking face except for the Punisher.
And they arrest the other guy. The cops reading his rights.
Yeah.
And out of nowhere, fucking Punisher just shoots him right in the face
with the shotgun. His fucking face just explodes.
And the reaction...
It's like, God damn it, Castle! That was so fucking... And he just turns around and leaves and shit.
Yeah, like...
That is fucking Punisher.
All the way.
One of my other favorite scenes is when those parkour people were like jumping across fucking buildings, and he fucking just shoots one of them with the RPG and he explodes.
And the other
one's like, what the fuck? And the Punisher just fucks them all up, dude.
Yep, and I guess the cops looking for him, remember? Mm-hmm. And they go in the alley and just wait. And out of nowhere, they see a fucking body drop.
He just falls onto like the fence, like spikes or some shit.
And then you see the Punisher land and break his neck.
Fucking neck, dude.
That's like, again, so...
What more can you want from a fucking... I know I'm feeling heated, but what more can you want from a comic book movie, dude?
I'm telling you. And at the end, towards the end almost, dude, I'm not going to spoil it. You got to watch it. Yeah. Pick it up. It's a great fucking film.
It is cheap at this point. It's highly accessible. You can find it anywhere. Do yourself a fucking favor. Watch this on a Friday night or some shit.
You're gonna have fun.
You're gonna have so much fucking fun.
I think this one also has like a cult following after it came out. Mm-hmm. I know when it came out in theaters, it didn't have financial success.
Yeah, it came out early in the year too, right?
No, it came out end of the year, kind of.
Oh, did it? Okay. Yeah, but
a lot of critics didn't like it because it was gory and all that, but if you know the character, you understand, know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, give it a shot. It's, again, one of my favorite.
And then that's not to say anything about the TV show, which was also fucking awesome.
Oh, my God.
And we can talk about that in another episode, but this movie, fucking perfect. And who they casted for the movie, man, I feel like I know the name. It's Steve something.
Look it up.
Let me check real quick. But that guy, he looks like the fucking Punisher.
Well, how are you saying? This actor looks like the Punisher, but Thomas Jane
sounds.
Yeah, the Punisher.
Because obviously, when you watch fucking or read Punisher comic books, you just kind of think of how they would sound like. But when Thomas Jane did his movie, and when I was reading comic books, that's all who I would think of as the voice for the Punisher.
And he did the voice for the Punisher for the video game, and he would do voiceover, and that's stuck, and it's implanted in my brain too, that Thomas Jane sounds like the Punisher.
It's Ray Stevens.
Stevens, yeah.
He's fucking, oh my God. Not enough praise. He has a physique of the fucking Punisher. I think even more so than John. Mm-hmm. He looks so fucking menacing. He has his hair slicked back. He has the fucking bulletproof vest. He has fucking hundreds of guns and shit. That's the one thing I'll say about this actor as a Punisher is that he was very concise, very precise with his guns. You remember that scene when he threw a grenade in a can? He fucking kicked it and it blew up in that room, dude. That was so fucking cool.
Dude, there's moments okay, that's so Punisher. There's moments like that. If you're a Punisher fan, you're gonna love, dude. I don't want to spoil because there's a lot of fucking moments that just are so fucking.
Let me just say one more scene. I remember this fucking scene when he was gonna go fight Jigsaw, and that cop was gonna be like, "I'm not gonna let you go by yourself," and he's getting ready and shit. I was like, it's I know you're gonna have to come with me. And he fucking knocks him out, or he just punches him and shit. And it's
and Soap is there. It's he's gonna be pissed off when he wakes up.
Yeah. It's if I don't come back in 15 minutes or something, let him loose and shit. I was like, oh my God, that's so fucking awesome, dude. That was so cool. But yeah, we could talk about the movie the whole fucking episode. All right. My number 3 is Captain America: Civil War.
Nice.
And I was kind of debating, between that one and Winter Soldier.
I was debating to add that to my list too. Cause to me, also, that's one of my favorite Marvel.
It's a good movie, and it took me a while because I didn't see it when it came out. But once I heard a lot of my friends talk about how great it was, I had to go check it out, and it definitely was a good fucking film. But nonetheless, Captain America: Civil War, it was at this point during the MCU and everything. We had all these characters and kind of established their own storylines and everything, but Civil War was like the first movie where a lot of superheroes like were in one movie. You know, besides the Avengers, Civil War introduced Spider-Man for one.
That's true.
Which was fucking cool. But they also had Iron Man and Captain America in one movie.
Didn't they introduce Black Panther?
I was gonna say, and they also introduced Black Panther. And this movie, at least to me, because I know there's previous movies dealt with a lot of heavy shit, but this one was really fucking dark.
Yeah.
You know, like towards the end, spoilers for if anyone that hasn't seen it, like Tony and Steve were like ready to fucking, or at least Tony was like ready to fucking kill Bucky Barnes, like no hesitation.
Yeah.
That scene was so fucking intense because it was the first time it was like nothing's off the table now. Like people could fucking die in this movie.
Wasn't it where also War Machine got injured?
War Machine got injured. Black Panther's father fucking died.
And Tony Stark figured out that Bucky was the one who killed his parents.
Yeah, it was like and Russo brothers even said that this movie dealt with a lot of themes of betrayal, and it divided the Avengers. And I think I remember seeing this in an interview once. I don't know. I think it was for Endgame, but the Russo brothers says that if you want, they asked him what movie to watch to lead up to Endgame for someone who hasn't seen any of the movies, and they said start with Civil War because that's technically what started this whole like arc with Infinity War and Endgame. Because if it weren't for Civil War, the Avengers would have been together. They would have been able to defeat Thanos, and there would not be no Endgame. Oh, okay. So Civil War was really the movie that broke these characters apart, and that's what led to the events of like Infinity War and how like they lost and everything. And so this movie has a lot of weight to it. It's very, I don't want to use this term, but it's like for comic books, it's a very key like movie, I guess.
That's true.
So, and it was just enjoyable from beginning to end. Like you know it, like that airport scene when all of them are fucking fighting.
That was so fucking amazing, dude.
That was the first time where it felt like a splash page from a comic book came to life. Yeah. You saw fucking Ant-Man was like giant and shit. Spider-Man was fucking fighting against the Winter Soldier and Falcon. You had Black Panther fighting Hawkeye. Iron Man was fucking fighting Scarlet Witch. Yeah. And oh my god, just so much happening in that one scene, and Russo brothers executed it fucking beautifully. Yeah. And it's no wonder why they went on to direct Infinity War and Endgame, because they're the only ones capable of fucking doing that.
And yeah, they know what they're doing too.
Yeah. And I don't think it was ever like topped by any other director in the MCU, in my opinion. So that is my number 3. I can talk about it all day, but
with all these films, yeah,
that's the reason why it's in my number 3.
All right.
What's your number 2?
My number 2, and yeah, it's gonna be very different from all the other ones, which is live action. This one's animated. It's an animated film.
Oh, okay. I think I know.
I think you know. Batman: The Dark Knight Returns, Part 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Again, what else you want me to say with this? It's written by Frank Miller, one of the greatest,
comic writers.
Yeah, and it's like so. I would say from beginning, from end with Part 1 and 2, it's so, like you said, it's a splash out of a fucking comic book.
And before you continue, like for those who don't know, Frank Miller also wrote The Dark Knight Returns comic book, and he wrote the movie. You're saying?
No, it's just.
I thought you were somebody who wrote them. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, it came from that graphic novel, which is considered like
one of, if not
the
best comic book movie. Yeah. And Batman, yeah. Sorry, Batman movie. No. Comic book of all time, and also Batman comic book of all time.
For example, like if if you're a fan of comic books and you know your writers like Scott Snyder, Donny Cates, so on and so forth, I can go on. James Tynion, Mark Grant Miller, Morrison. Stuff like that.
Yeah,
they would say that the Dark Knight Returns is the one that made him like, hey, this is fucking amazing.
Yep.
And I want to become a fucking comic book writer.
Mm-hmm.
So
and Frank Miller has that power, like that fucking ability to rewrite a fucking character.
Yeah.
He did that with Batman. He did it with Daredevil. It was like he fucking completely changed the entire structure of that character when he did his run for Daredevil, when he did his fucking Dark Knight Returns.
Like with those two, back in the day, comic books weren't taken seriously.
Mm-hmm.
It was more towards kids.
Yep.
So when Frank Miller came in the scene, he fucking changed that shit.
Yeah, he did.
So
yeah, he fucking did.
And it wasn't no more fucking kid fucking comic books anymore.
It was gravitated more to
adults now. Yeah.
Yeah. And
so
no, go ahead.
Well, no, yeah, and I loved when it came out. It was, and it's voiced by RoboCop Peter Weller. He's like, perfect for the old Batman.
For that version of Batman.
Yeah.
Perfect, dude.
Yeah, and like again, like with the Dark Knight Rises and Batman v Superman, they took inspiration from that film too.
Yeah, yeah.
Like for let's say for the Dark Knight Rises, they took the kind of when he retired. That was kind of like from the Dark Knight Returns. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And with Batman v Superman is when they
when he fought Superman.
Well, yeah, basically, and the look, the
costume, the armored fucking suit
that he had,
which is iconic
that too. Yeah,
yeah. That scene in that movie was, because I didn't know anything about that movie, The Dark Knight Returns. Mm-hmm. I thought that Rises was good, and it came out during the time,
yes,
right? Like around the time, if not that time, but that year.
Uh-huh.
And you told me that movie was better than Rises. Like, no fucking hesitation. Mm. And I saw that scene with when he fights Superman, and I was like, "Fuck, dude, Edgar's right. Like this might be better than The Dark Knight Rises."
And it is, man. Like, well, if I'll give it a backstory. Like, it's about when Batman retires right after Jason Todd dies. Mm-hmm. And he's devastated, and he's done, being Batman. Mm-hmm. So he's been retired maybe over 10 years, and Gotham is, going to shit, corrupt, with all this corrupt crimes,
different gangs,
and it's run by the mutants.
That's what they're called, right? Yeah, and they look like mutants, don't they?
That too. And Bruce Wayne, he had enough of what's going on in the city, and he just comes back as an old,
like fucking what's the
Batman,
word? I don't know what the word is, but he's like more rough, more fucking violent, more brutal in how he fucking fights. Like he uses a fucking gun, doesn't he?
No,
is it?
No, I don't think so.
No. Okay, I get that wrong. Which is Batman v Superman.
Yeah, it's Batman v Superman.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah.
Which is cool that the Joker's in there. Superman.
To talk about an intense scene, that scene with Joker.
Yeah, that was. I was surprised too. When I first saw it.
Yeah.
And what was I trying to say here?
When he fights the mutant leader too.
Oh, there you go. I was gonna say that's one of the best.
Oh, I'm gonna butcher it, but when he fucking tells him like, "I'm the surgeon and this is my fucking surgical table" or some shit like that.
That's so fucking cool, dude.
Oh my god!
They fight in the mud, and it's so fucking.
And he fucking breaks his fucking bones, and he tells him which ones he's breaking, and how like fucking you might as well have told him how long it's gonna take to heal and all this fucking shit. Like it was so.
He breaks down everything and shit.
It was so fucking cool, man.
Like, for example, when they were fighting and everything, he does like this chop move on his shoulder.
Yeah.
And the mutant, like his arm, the mutant's arm goes limp. Like, what was that? A tickle?
Yeah.
So you might have felt like a tickle, but I took one of your nerves out, so you can't use that arm anymore. Oh basically, God. But the way he delivers that line,
I'm getting fucking chills. The music, as like it kind of swells every time he's like fighting him and shit. Fucking awesome, man. Fucking awesome. For anyone who says that they don't like Batman, fucking read The Dark Knight Returns. And if you read it and you're like, I read it, I don't like the character, read that shit again, motherfucker, because that comic book is such a fucking perfect, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, I don't know, like portrait of that character.
Yeah.
In that time, basically. 'Cause, I mean, he's obviously a lot more older, but that's, from that point on, that's what Batman was every time another writer wrote him. He was brutal, he was more rough and like more fucking, like, I don't know, it was like a veteran, kind of like he's seen this shit before, that kind of thing. Like,
if it wasn't for Frank Miller, we wouldn't have this Batman that we see now.
And especially with Zack Snyder Batman.
Yeah.
Which, you know, that's not my favorite, but still.
I would say also the fight between Batman and Superman in the animated series animated film is better than the live action.
Because Green Arrow's involved, right?
Yeah.
Robin's involved.
Like, it's, like...
they fight in an abandoned town.
Yeah.
It's
kind of
so
like
fucking...
in like the film, but the film took it more, I don't want to say serious, but it was like, I don't know, the way the way they delivered that scene wasn't so good. How in the animated film was.
It's weird because in Batman v Superman, that was the best scene.
Yeah. In
my opinion, but it was so condensed. It happened in 10 minutes, and then that was it. They didn't fight anymore, and the way that they stopped fighting was obviously becomes a fucking meme at this point. Mm-hmm. But it was just, I didn't like that at all. Because compared to the comic book, the comic book and like the comic book movie, so much fucking better executed. Yeah,
like
the speech
that he delivers is so fucking badass, dude. Like, you gotta watch this, and to tell you how good it is. It just came out, I think I checked in 2012, okay? Mm-hmm. And this came out, this came out in 2012, and it still holds till this day in Rotten Tomatoes 100%. Shit. 100%.
For fucking good reason, man.
It was well adapted to film as a comic.
And I don't think we'll ever see it in live action, man. I don't think we'll ever see it. I don't think...
Well, I don't know. We'll like, maybe.
Again, maybe.
Because this one, it is, like, considered one of the best Batman stories / graphic novels of all time, too, you know?
Yeah, that's
it's
true.
So up there, and it's so good. You can't... There's no, like... There's a... you can't make that into a live action, you know?
Yeah.
It has to.
It's impossible, I think.
Yeah.
But it could be done. I mean, obviously... You did
fucking Ben Affleck's in it. That's his favorite comic book.
Yeah, you fucking hit a rock and you'll fucking hit someone with that's my favorite story and everything. It's like, but for good reason. For good fucking reason. I also like how it pisses off Superman fans because it's like, that could never happen. It's like, dude, Batman was preparing for that fucking fight for decades. Dude.
Yep.
Decades.
We can go on and on.
Yeah.
So number 2 was Batman Dark Knight Returns, part 1 and 2.
Well, my number 2 is also a Batman movie, and that's The Dark Knight.
Yep.
Dude, I'm gonna try to keep it short because we're gonna be here for fucking ever if I talk a lot about this movie.
I want to say I was also considering
The Dark Knight.
That. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, for me at least, The Dark Knight. I didn't see Batman Begins before. I had to watch it like on DVD and everything. But I heard the hype about it, and it was something unseen before, unheard of before in Hollywood, and how much traction this movie was getting before it released. This was the first movie I think that we bought tickets before it came out.
Yeah.
And this might even be the first movie we went to go see, like a fucking early showing of it or something. I don't know what it was. No, we saw it when it came out, right?
Yeah, the first day.
Still. And so much fucking hype. And I've never seen a comic book movie that lived up to the hype and then some. And it's all because of Christopher Nolan. He's an amazing fucking director. And this might be, at least for me, my favorite film of his. And the cinematography is iconic at this point. And you also have an all-star studded cast. Morgan Freeman. Christian Bale. What the fuck's his name? Oh my god. Michael Caine. Jesus. Heath Ledger.
Morgan Freeman.
I just said Morgan Freeman. Who's the guy that played Harvey Dent? Jesus, I fucking had these names in my mind before. But yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. All done well. And obviously, we already heard praise enough from Heath Ledger as a Joker, but same thing like you were talking about with like Frank Miller, but an actor completely changed that character for the Joker, because from that point on, anyone who wrote the Joker in the comic books felt very similar to Heath Ledger's Joker. And I don't think anyone ever saw that coming, you know? Talk about an actor who was very unassuming. I mean, he was a great actor, but a lot of people didn't know that he was going to be good as the Joker. It was like, what, this guy? This fucking guy who's done, like, rom-coms is going to be the Joker and everything. And, dude, he could have not have done a better fucking job as the Joker. But he was the Joker in that film. And we can talk about his preparation for the film, but he really took that shit seriously. He filmed some of his own scenes, like you mentioned before, and everything.
Put his own makeup.
He put on his own makeup. Like Michael Caine was like fucking surprised when he first saw him, and
what's her name who played
Rachel.
Rachel was also surprised when they first saw him.
Because that was the first time like they shot like with Michael Caine and Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it was for me, I think, a fucking masterpiece. I don't think it's ever been done before. Well, no, it has been done before with my number one at least. But yeah, like that, I think that is the best fucking Batman movie that we've ever gotten. You know? What do you
I would say,
at least in live action.
No, yeah, I would say also Batman Begins did also well.
Yeah, that's a good one too. I mean, not to shit on Rises, but Rises was good, but it definitely had more issues than the two previous films.
Yeah, there was not a lot of action in there.
Yeah,
to me,
it was more politics, dude.
Yeah,
I'm being honest.
And to me, it felt like it dragged on most of the time, which sucked because I also Bane is my favorite. One of my favorite villains too.
He was played well by Tom Hardy.
I'm not saying he wasn't, but what I was gonna say, I forgot, dude. He's just like, I don't know, but yeah. No, I was looking forward because sorry, I forgot my. I was looking forward because Bane was my favorite, and I was looking forward. It did happen. He broke his fucking back like in the comics.
That was pretty cool.
But besides that,
and then that's the last you see a fucking Batman for like a while. Not enough Batman, I think. But it was still a good film. It's just I don't think doesn't come close to The Dark Knight in my opinion.
Batman Begins.
Or Batman Begins. But The Dark Knight is just it took over the world when it came out. It did not stop making money for fucking weeks and weeks and weeks. It stayed at number one for a long time, and I don't know. It's just I can talk. Oh fuck, we said this a long time. Sorry, we could talk about that all day. But The Dark Knight is my number 2.
And I feel we're gonna have the same number unos here.
So I mean, what is it?
Is it?
Yeah, we might as well just both talk about it at this point.
All right. I guess I don't.
Our number 1.
Yeah.
Is Logan. I don't know why we said it like that, but.
You want me to go first and you'll talk about it, or how do you want to do this?
Yeah, I mean, since you're... Yeah, go ahead. I'll chip in.
Fuck. I don't know how to start this. When Logan came out, knowing what it was going to be...
An adaptation of Old Man Logan?
Old Man Logan, written by Mark Miller. I would say that's also one of the top-tier graphic novels of all time. You should pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even though there's not a lot of Old Man Logan in Logan, because it's completely different from the film.
Yeah.
You know,
but it definitely takes that character of Old Man Logan.
Yeah.
And in the world, I think we can
that
both
also
agree.
yeah. So it took a lot of inspiration from that comic book, but dude, with the performances by
Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman, Patrick Stewart,
the guy that's from Narcos.
Well, I would say everyone did a great fucking job. Dude.
Laura Kinney, that's her name, right? Who plays
Laura.
Laura?
Yeah, it's her name's
Name
Laura.
Laura too?
Yeah.
What? Is that the actress? No, whatever. But yeah, she also did a fucking great job. And Stephen Merchant too, who also played the albino guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that movie. Look, one of our honorable mentions, at least for me, was going to be Avengers Infinity War and Endgame. And that was a movie 10 years in the making, right? Because everything was leading up to that movie. But Logan was almost 20 years in the making, starting with X-Men. These characters that we grew up with, me and you, like, we grew up with Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, from X-Men all the way up to Logan. To see his character finally have closure, and this was like his final chapter, it held so much weight for me as a fan of his portrayal of Wolverine. It did not fucking disappoint. It was the swan song that Hugh Jackman, I guess, really needed for like his end of his run with Wolverine, I guess. Because he had been playing that character for so fucking long.
Yeah.
And he did it beautifully.
Like, why, to me, it's just so fucking, like, why did it take so long to become rated R? Like,
right.
why?
Yeah.
Even with the spin-offs, his solo ones, like with Origins, which is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And Wolverine, which is not bad.
You know, it is also didn't have as much violence. It was kind of neutered, in that way.
Even the fucking supposedly unrated was in that fucking...
Yeah, you see some spurts of blood and that's it.
This is the one we wanted for a long time. The fucking claws, the fucking blood, the fucking limbs getting ripped off, all this shit.
And it starts off right away with that shit, man. When he's like fucking up those...
like drug dealers or some shit.
Yeah. Like, oh my god, that was so cool. And then you see how much is taking its toll for like of him being Wolverine. Like he's not regenerating as much. He has to pull his fucking claws out every time. He's taking medicine. He looks like he's like walking almost with the limp every fucking time. Like that was so fucking just, I don't know, very sad to see, but very beautiful to watch at the same time. And it had that Western feel to it too, which is weird, but
because it's not Western.
But that was one of the inspirations. Hugh Jackman mentioned the wrestler in Unforgiven as like his inspiration for the movie, and damn, did they do it well. Even the music felt like it was out of a Western movie, and they played Johnny Cash in the trailer, which was fucking cool, which is awesome because James Mangold also directed Walk the Line. Yeah. So. Damn, and he was a great director too for that film. Perfect choice.
I think he also did 3:10 a Union.
Yeah, and he did Ford v Ferrari or whatever.
Oh, that one too.
He did that movie too.
So he has a good fucking track record of films and stuff.
Yeah, and I don't know, man. It's just when I think of comic book movies, the first one that always comes to mind is Logan, because it just not because of the culmination of all the years that Hugh Jackman gave as the Wolverine, but again, it feels like a fucking comic book movie, or I mean a comic book come to life, No,
so fucking true. When the trailer finally dropped, dude, I geeked the fuck out. Okay, I was
Goosebumps, dude.
Yes,
fucking Goosebumps.
Finally seeing this fan service that Wolverine should get, dude. It took this fucking long, and we finally got it. Which is kind of sad to see because this is the final, with Hugh Jackman being as Wolverine and stuff like that. But it was well deserved, and oh my god, dude, just talking about it makes me want to
watch it again.
Watch it again, and and at the same time, it's sad.
It is sad
because you know what's going on with Professor X.
Yeah, his deterioration of his mind.
Yeah, stuff
which can hit home for a lot of people who have relatives who are dealing with that, like Alzheimer's and like dementia and shit, which is what Professor X was basically dealing with in that movie. Mm-hmm. It's just, it's a very, very dark movie. I don't suggest kids watch that film until they're older, but it is just, I can't praise that movie enough. You know, it was really good. And the ending was,
oh my god, it got me fucking bawling out.
Me too, man.
It just, me too. That's how he delivered his the way that scene was set up, and the way they delivered it was so great. And what did he tell her? Don't let them
make you like, what the fuck, I forget what he said. But when he said that to Laura and everything, and he finally kind of like acknowledged her as her daughter and everything, and he was calling her dad too. And I was like, oh my god, that fucking breaks my heart.
And I think like his last words like this, and this is how it feels.
Yeah, this is what it feels like. And I was like, does that mean like he's realizing how it feels like to die or to feel pain or like?
It can mean a lot of things.
Or is that how it feels like to have like someone to care for, someone to love for, like to be? Is this what it feels like to be like a parent to someone? Because you never had that.
Yeah, Wolverine's mostly like a loner.
Yeah.
So, just feeling some type of love that he never had before, or like something like that.
That connection with other people, and I really do wish that they can continue with Laura's character.
Which I think they will.
Yeah, because his sacrifice was to kind of pave the way for the new generation of mutants and everything. Like he's basically starting a new fucking universe if they ever wanted to with Laura and everything. It's just, it's such a fucking good movie, and also terrifying too. When they brought in X-24. That fucking moment, that moment when he kills Professor X, and you're like, what? And then fucking, Logan comes into the house, and X-24 comes down the stairs holding
Laura.
Yeah, Laura and everything. They just look at each other for a moment, and then he fucking keeps walking out. Like, what the fuck is going on? And then he starts fighting him, and he shows his age because he can't keep up. And X-24 is fucking him up and everything. And then what was it that the owner of the house tries to kill him with the shotgun. Yeah. And I was.
I know, man. Like,
it was so fucking cool, man.
Yeah, it's one of those films you can see over and over and not get tired of because it's so perfectly paced, shot, best performance by a lot of actors in that film.
Yeah, because I was going to say, I'm going to read it here before because I want to get it right. But they wanted to resemble the style used in Bronze Age of comic books. So they really wanted to get that look of how a comic book would look like. And I think they nailed it perfectly.
I think so.
You know? It does feel like an old comic book that you would read. You know? And there's even a scene when he holds up like an X-Men comic and shit. Oh, man. Yeah, great fucking performances. Did it go up for an Oscar at all? I think it
did.
I want to say it did, but let me check real quick. But
probably for Hugh Jackman.
Fuck! I said ignore that I said that. Hugh Jackman. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, best adapted screenplay. It got nominated. It didn't win.
Okay, did it win anything though?
Excellence in production design for a contemporary film. It won that.
Okay.
But it was nominated for a lot of shit. Best supporting actor, best action movie, Empire Awards nominated it for best actor and won. Hugh Jackman.
Well deserved.
Her name is Daphne King. I don't fucking. Her name was not Lord. We were going out here fucking. You dick. what happens when you're fucking depressed, or you just start.
I think that's her name in the comics is Laura Keane.
Yeah, and I was thinking that her name actress. You bitch. Fucking bitch. Whatever, but anyways.
Like not that long ago, it came out with the Noir film, which is I guess black and white.
Yeah, the black and white version of it.
So yeah, you don't know. We might see a fucking director's cut.
That'd be cool.
Because there were scenes.
The man called cut, dude.
Because there was scenes that were cut out where he has flashbacks with Jean Grey and Sabretooth.
Yeah, Sabretooth was supposed to be in that movie. They've written him in the screenplay, but they unfortunately cut him. And it was going to be the same actor who played Sabretooth of was it Origins, right?
Yeah.
He wanted to come back and play Sabretooth, so yeah, it'd be cool to see another like extended cut.
That would be nice
if they ever do anything like that.
Because you release Noir, might as well release the longer version of it or whatever.
And look, to kind of cap this all off, the reason why, one of the reasons why, but one of the biggest reasons why this is our favorite comic book movie, is because of Hugh Jackman. He is definitely irreplaceable. I don't think there could be anybody who could step in the shoes and play that character again. Only Hugh Jackman.
I was gonna sound stupid, but we probably did. Did we ever get a bum out of him?
But yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think in the first movie, I'm pretty sure you said Bob a few times. But yeah, it was. Oh man! And then for a few more honorable mentions.
Well, for me, I don't have any. So
for me, it was Spider-Man 2.
Nice.
From Sam Raimi.
I was also debating putting that in my list.
I know that it's cheesy and everything, but dude, it's probably one of the fucking best, if not my favorite Spider-Man movie of all time.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not just a Spider-Man movie, but it definitely is like a good Peter Parker story too. Mm-hmm. So that was an honorable mention, and like I said, Infinity War and Endgame was an honorable mention. It was this fucking close, like a hair close to being on my list, because those movies were fucking good.
No fucking doubt about it, dude. I was also debating putting those because what a fucking ride it was.
Right?
Enough said, dude. That's just so
cried
fucking
multiple times like a little bitch in that movie. It was so good. And then this one, which is kind of out of left field, but Thor Ragnarok too.
That's not. It was fucking.
It was a good movie.
No, watching Dark World, was it Dark World or whatever?
Dark World, I fell asleep. I'm like,
and when Thor came out, Ragnarok, I was like, here we go. You were the one pushing me to go see. I had no interest, but when we saw it in theaters, like, where the fuck was this Thor, dude?
Yeah, dude, and the first two Thor movies were, kind of boring. I think. I haven't seen them since I first watched them, fucking like years ago. But Thor Ragnarok is also completely changed that character, because from that point on, that's how he was written in the comic books. They made him more humorous instead of like kind of a boring character. And dude, Ragnarok was. That was, I think
who can't pronounce his name, but the director.
Taika Waititi?
I would say he's the same way like with James Gunn did with Guardians.
Oh yeah.
He gave life to Thor. He gave it a new personality. Mm-hmm. More, I would say he's comedic instead of being so fucking like, "Hi, I'm Thor" type of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, he was very more like I want to say dumbed down, but he's more goofy and more like just more funny all around. I don't know. I like that movie. It was pretty good. And then also had the Hulk, so that was a bonus. Yeah. It was kind of like a mini Hulk movie too, which is fucking cool.
Which is nice. So
and we finally got the answer of who won between the Hulk and Thor again, which is fucking Hulk. Was it Hulk that fucked him up?
Well, yeah. You remember he jumped all the way and came back down?
Yeah, that was awesome. But yeah, those.
That was it.
Yeah, because the other ones I mentioned, like Warzone, Captain America, Winter Soldier, we kind of talked about them.
Okay.
But those were my honorable mentions. But man, there's so much that we could have talked about.
Or add it to our list.
Yeah, Deadpool 2 was also pretty good. Black Panther is another fucking great movie.
Instead of naming them, how about we save them for the next?
Yeah.
Down the line.
For the next movie. Why you burn? Why'd you have to burp on this podcast?
Yeah, tell everybody. Might as well tell them how I farted.
You probably have farted. Don't fart now.
I'm not farting, dickhead.
Fucking ass.
Jeez.
We gotta end this before you start farting up the room.
Oh, like you don't.
Alright, fair point. Alright, so that's gonna do it for this episode of Two Brothers.
Two Brothers.
We're fucking sweaty now, but we're no longer depressed, which is good. That was the outcome of this podcast. So we finally got to talk about our favorite comic book movies. And so leave a comment down below. Really do. And tell us what your fucking favorite comic book movies of all time were. And we'll be back again with another episode. We hope you guys enjoy. Please like.
Subscribe.
Please. sound too desperate, but like and share and subscribe. And thank you to all the 10 people who listen to our podcast again. We really appreciate it, and we'll keep it going. So there's been Two Brothers. Two brothers.
Hurry up and end it, fucker.
Fuck you.